Hi guys, and welcome to another video where this time I am going to style this shelving unit and the shelves in my kitchen. I am excited to share with you my tips and approach on how to best style shelves. Open shelving can quickly become a place that collects a bunch of things, but I really want to be mindful about not mixing storage and display of beautiful decor. I really want to make sure that the things I need to store for practical reasons but don't really look great are tucked in a closed cabinet, and the things that I want to display, the objects, little knickknacks that I love, are displayed in a harmonious, homogeneous way on open shelving. So that's the goal of today's video. I hope you're gonna enjoy it. You might have seen my living room makeover, and if you haven't watched that video, you should absolutely check it out. I'm very proud of it. It shows how the living room came together with a bunch of secondhand furniture. And I left the styling of these shelves for today's video. I'm gonna roll back the footage of that day and we'll be right back. I brought this here with the electrical already figured out because all of the wires are attached to the center pole in the back, but we want to have an accent light on these bookshelves. We have obviously the projector I mentioned and the Marshalls that are used for music or movies. So the speakers are here. This box actually has some extra electrical stuff, I think related to the projector. I'm not the tech reference here. I'm just going to plug this one cable that has everything connected to it and be right back. To style this unit behind me, I have a few very cute elements of decor. This globe is secondhand and it looks so nice. We have a chess fan in this household, so there you go, a chessboard for you. I'm actually not a great chess player myself, but I will make sure that I put the pieces properly on the chessboard. Legit question for you. Would a bookshelf really be a bookshelf without books? I don't know. But we've got these beautiful ancient style books here. They are so lovely. So let's add a few books and this adorable trinket that I found once a long time ago in a thrift store in New York. Lovely bust here. I'm not too sure where we got it, perhaps Amazon, but adding a sculptural element to your decor is always nice and so elevated. So this piece is going to be going here for now. And mind you, styling a bookshelf is, touch and go. You can adjust things several times before you get it right, but I would say in terms of balance, you don't want to have all of the big elements next to each other. You kind of want to play around with different things until you get it right. Two very cute storage boxes here that will add some color to these bookshelves. Let's add these at the bottom. I'm going to change a thing or two. I'm going to put the horse here. So cute. Love that. The bust is going to go here. So I'm happy with the way these shelves are styled, but there is one element that I think could be drastically improved. Just moving this back here, and that would be the projector. This is kind of sticking out and it's here for practical reasons. It definitely is in the right spot, but unfortunately everything else looks great, but the projector here doesn't look great. It's not ugly either. It just could look a little better. So I was really thinking, what would be the best way to hide the projector so that the whole shelving unit is going to look even better? I had a set of two boxes that were not really used, but I thought would be perfect to hide the projector. So we're going to do a little DIY to modify the bigger box here and make it so that the projector will fit and be hidden inside of this box. The projector will not fit in the small box, it will only fit in the big one. I just very carefully on the big box removed these tiny little pieces of wood that were attached with very thin nails, and the glass came right off. It was not glued, it was only secured in place using these pieces. I was then left with a box without the top. The idea was to remove the top of the box and put it upside down on the projector. And because this is like open and lets the air go through, it was a good solution because you really want air to circulate still. Otherwise the projector might overheat. So having this opening was a really good start, but it was not high enough. So I went to the hardware store and picked up these tiny little wood pieces and just simply glued 3 pieces together for each foot and created 4 feet for my box here and glued everything in place simply using wood glue. I also glued a few spots on my now empty lid so that the lid wouldn't be moving around, opening and closing, and I could have this square that would just stay in place. So this is the back of my box. We don't even need these technically because it's not going to open anymore. This is the front. And so we're left with this cute little thing. So not only the box was not high enough, but I also needed space for the cords to be able to just run freely in the back. So having the box elevated on my little feet here made it way easier. So the projector is, I believe, in its right spot, but we're gonna check that. The idea is now to have the other box on top because the top here is not looking that good. It does look like the bottom of the box because that's what it is. If we were to just add this one on top, how about that? This looks great. It's just a stack of boxes and you can't tell that the projector is behind this. And what we can do is we can use this top box here to hide the remote. The last step we need to do is to carefully cut a big enough hole here for the projector to be able to project the right way. So let me turn it on so we can see exactly where to cut the box. This area here will need to be cut out. After 2 back and forth here, this is the final shape that I need for my opening, and it kind of is perfect because it is symmetrical left and right, and I used the edges of the cane or the way it's intertwined to make it work, keeping one horizontal one here, one horizontal one here at the bottom, and the 2 for the left and right sides. So let's test it out. Well, you just saw the reveal of the living room makeover. If you didn't see that video, I highly recommend checking it out. Absolutely love how this turned out. Now, I wish the 2 boxes could be positioned just like this on the shelf, but if we did that, then the projector would not be projecting on the wall at the right angle at all. So that's totally fine. We can either leave it like this and just ever so slightly shift the boxes whenever we're watching a movie, and that also works really great, or just leave them at a slight angle because not everyone is as OCD as I am. I am going to show you the reveal shots of these shelves. Now the projector is nice and hidden. Then we'll move on to the kitchen open shelving. things now on the counter, and all of these different objects are going to be used to style the empty open shelving behind me. This here is really the focal point of the kitchen. It is front and center, and the issue is that it is a very shallow open shelving unit. It's not even 4 inches deep, so really you don't have that much room, but we do have a bunch of different items we could use. Two things to consider: the color palette and the size and shape of the items. For the color palette, we are going to lean into the colors, the existing colors of the kitchen. We've got some beautiful light wood, some darker wood, obviously, in this shelving alone, and some touches of green and gray. Obviously, you want to think about the position of the items as well. And since I am right next to the sink, I am going to require some room here for the functional side of things. So let's just start with that and get it over with. Let's start with a little tray. This will help with water damage, because this being right next to the sink gets a lot of water spills. It's already pretty damaged, so not only the tray will hide the damage, but it will also prevent more water damage on this wood. On top of the tray, we have a set for the hand soap, dish soap, and the sponge. This is just a wood set. I just used my label maker to put these little labels on. Let's also add these sponges to the mix. I'm also gonna add this. It's a Swedish cloth. Really like it. I installed this little hook here. So this is its spot where it gets dry and is out of the way. I would highly recommend using these Swedish cloths. They are washable and so convenient to wipe any spill or just wipe down counters. So highly recommend those. So here are the few different elements we can use for these kitchen shelves. We have basically 3 different categories. We've got an herb garden that I absolutely love. All of these herbs can be bought at Trader Joe's, so that's what we do typically. We do go through them pretty regularly. It's such a good vibe though, and you can use the herbs for cooking, so that's so nice. I also created the labels here with my label maker. All of the labels are in French because, well, for vibes, and because I'm from France. That's for the herb garden. For the second category, I would say it is dry food. We've got pasta, some sort of grain, rice, and more pasta. And the third category is decorative items. So some small, super cute pot, beautiful wood board, a lamp that is rechargeable, LED, more ceramic items. We don't use this pasta. This is actually pretty old, so it's just kept for decor at this point. So I'm gonna place the pasta up at the top. This lamp is actually such a convenient thing to have. It lights up the sink really nicely. So whenever I need more light in this corner, I can do so. I like it around here. It is elevated, so away from the water splashes, and just cast light really nicely on the sink area. I think that right next to the lamp, I'm just gonna add this absolutely adorable little mushroom that matches the shape of the lamp, and it just looks like a set, and it's the cutest thing. At this point, I'm gonna add the herb garden. We have 6 different herbs. Some of them require a very high level of maintenance, so I am going to have them really easily accessible so we can check on them. Most fragile, I would say, are the parsley here and the basil. Parsley and basil would need to be actually checked on every single day, so I'm gonna place them here. The herbs from Provence don't need as much watering and as much care, because in the south of France, in Provence, they don't get that much water. I'm gonna put both the rosemary and the thyme all the way up there, as they will require the least amount of watering. Now the remaining two, we have oregano and mint. These two are medium level of watering, I would say. So let's put the oregano here and the mint there. It smells really good. The rice we actually do use. Now at this point I have a few more items, and I'm gonna try and play around with shapes and colors until I like what I see. Little watering can, I can put it right here next to the sink. That will be very convenient. I could tweak this for hours, you know, there's no right or wrong here. It's really just about how you like the way it looks on the shelves, and just trying to do the arranging and organizing intentionally. In this case, I like that we grouped the herb garden by a set of two. We have, you know, the dry food up there and just a few decor elements spread throughout the open shelving. It could be, you know, rearranged in many different ways, but ultimately that's what I came up with. And the fun part is that I can obviously rearrange depending on the season, depending on how many herbs I've got here, that kind of thing. So this was a sweet exercise. It can be very creative, very fun, and having these beautiful items on display makes me really happy. It's such a pleasure to see this. It's close to the entrance of the apartment. It is the focal point of this open kitchen. So really having this styled nicely is really worth it, in my opinion, to make this home feel so nice and beautiful. I post every Wednesday and Sunday, so make sure to subscribe to see me in my next video. Comment below if you have an open shelving section in your home that you need to give some TLC to. I hope you had a good time watching, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!